Hey guys, welcome back to the Glow Up Podcast. So I'm just going to get right to it today. So the topic that I have today is living the balanced life. So I know a lot of my listeners can definitely relate to this, where you feel like you have so much responsibilities. Either you are balancing school and work, and your family, or balancing your career, your family, your jobs, your businesses, all these different things, and you kind of just feel all over the place and frazzled, right? I want to share and talk a little bit about some of the tips and tools that I used to kind of help me live out this balanced life. And so I'll go ahead and get started. So the easiest answer that I will give you that helped me live this balanced life is totally surrendering to Jesus, surrendering to Him and asking for help. Because I know when I was doing things in my own strength, when I felt like I could handle it, I was all over the place. I was a hot mess and I felt like I was messing up on everything. And so know that we have help. We have a comforter. We have a teacher. We have somebody who has all the answers. And all we need to do is lean into Him and ask for help. And I remember, I was struggling. I was struggling at work. I was struggling trying to balance everything. And I just remember I told the Lord, I said, listen, like this is a lot, and I just straight up surrendered and said, I need help. And so with me asking for help, He answered and gave me different strategies on how to, be able to handle everything and still not feel frazzled or burnt out. So one of the biggest things, or one of the first things that He worked with me, is my time management. Time is very, very important because time is something that we can't get back. So we have to be good stewards on how we're managing our time. And if I were to be completely honest with you, trying to manage time at work and all these different things that I had to do, I really wasn't managing my time effectively. I would spend probably like 20, 30 minutes on Instagram, probably longer than that. And then I'm over here freaking out because I don't feel like I have time to do all my stuff. So I kind of had to evaluate, okay, what am I spending my time on? What can I cut back? What are some things that I need to do differently, right? And so one of the things the Holy Spirit told me was basically to come up with a schedule. Come up with a schedule. What time are you going to get up? If you're going to get up at 6 a.m., what are you going to use that time for? And also having dedicated time or time blocks for certain things. So I noticed that I would multitask a lot, which is not good because you're not focused. You're all over the place, right? So I would spend like 30 minutes on my job, and then I'll be like, oh my gosh, I got to do something with my business. I got to do all these things. So I'm hopping back all over the place and I don't really feel productive. So the Holy Spirit said, use your time effectively. So if you're going to be working, if you're going to spend time working, work between the hours of, 8 to about 4 o'clock. That's going to be designated for your job. And then after that, you spend an hour designated on your business. So that way you're not jumping all over the place. And when I did that strategy, I felt a lot more productive because I felt like, okay, I was able to check the box off with my business. I was able to check the box off with my full-time job. And I didn't feel as all over the place and frazzled, right? So the first thing is definitely time management. How are you managing your time? Evaluate how many hours you have in the day, what you can do at your job, what you can do at school, and come up with a plan, come up with structure. Um, and then the other thing too is making sure that you are setting time for yourself. So before I would just work, 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 and not, take breaks. You got to take breaks. You just have to take breaks. You got to schedule time to step away. So if that's at lunch, it's at 12 to 1 o'clock, use that time for you. Go for a walk, step away from the desk, turn off your phone, do whatever you got to do to kind of replenish and refresh. That's really important. So making sure that you're taking your breaks and your time. And also too, if you're scheduled to, you have a schedule where you're working, 8 to 5, right? After 5 o'clock, turn that laptop off, turn the phone off, don't look at emails. Literally, you have to train yourself on how to just cut everything off. Like your mind is off at 5 o'clock when it comes to work. And when you have that time, or when you have that structured in your mind, then you're able to say, okay, after 5 o'clock, I'm done. This is the time I'm going to spend with myself, or this is the time I'm going to spend with my family. And the more you do it, the more easier it gets. But just making sure that you are really like not hard on yourself, but strict with that. You know what I mean? Don't um some days we're like, oh, well, I got to get this done. Oh, well, I got to get that. If it's something that requires a deadline and you got to get it done, you got to work overtime. Okay, I get that. But if you're just doing it because you just want to work, like you, no, no. And then you can't complain and say, I feel so overworked, but you're not, using your time wisely. So, just make sure after 5 o'clock you're done. The other things too is, Saturdays, your weekends, utilize that time however you see fit. So if that's traveling, if that's spending time with your family, don't use that for your business. Don't use that for your job. Use that time for you. And granted, I don't know everyone's situation, so you may, have a business that you have to run during the weekend. And if that's the case, maybe maybe have a day off during the week. But definitely plan time for you to decompress and unwind. Like our lives is not meant, we're not meant to be worker bees. Like we're not. Like we're meant to do work, not have any anxiety or stress about it, and then allow God to do the rest. But we're supposed to not be stressed out all the time. So make sure that you're planning those times in. And then Sundays, what I like to do, if I'm not at church or if I'm not traveling due to my son's games or whatnot, I do like to just chill. I like to chill at the house and do absolutely nothing. Some days, I'll clean up here and there, but cleaning up is kind of my thing. I like to, I like to do that. That kind of helps me with stress. But some days I just like to chill, man. It's just so refreshing. Or, take a little nice bath, read a nice book, just chill, right? And so those are some of the tips the Holy Spirit gave me. And it's been helping me out a lot. Like even in this season that I'm in right now, I feel like everything is speeded up right now. I have no idea. Maybe because I was I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot going on. But I don't feel like stressed out. Like I don't feel like extremely pressured. If I had to look back how I was 2 years ago, because I was supposed to be managing my business, managing my job, and then also helping out with the wellness center 2 to 3 years ago, but I couldn't handle it. I was always stressed out and I having chest pains and anxiety, like I just couldn't do it. But now, 2 years later, I'm doing the exact same thing, but I guess my mindset has shifted. My mindset has shifted, and then the Holy Spirit really helps me to be able to manage things with how I'm managing my time and I guess how I'm looking at it too. So just wanted to get on here and share that. Hopefully these tips helped you. It is very possible to live a balanced life. It's very possible to balance all your responsibilities, but just remember to surrender and ask the Lord for help. We're not in this by ourselves. We have a helper, we have a comforter, we have a teacher who is available when we need him. So yeah, so just wanted to get on here and share that. Hopefully this was helpful, and I will check you guys out next time. Bye guys.